Great. Once again, a warm welcome to Thoughts Over Coffee. As we start today, please do make sure you've got your notes. If you remember, we're looking at the second part of the second third, if you like, of our 15 things to do during a shutdown, particularly if you're a business owner. I'm going to emphasize this every time we do this. Once again tomorrow, please do not view this time as a holiday time. A lot of people, particularly with the lack of clarity of what's to come, what's the next step? We're not clear on what the future looks like. For a lot of people, as I mentioned on our very first one of these, that can be quite a destabilizing factor. So please do make sure that you put stuff in action. Consider how you're spending and investing your time. One of our friends posted this up on Facebook, which I really enjoyed. After years of wanting to thoroughly clean my house but lacking the time, this week I discovered that it wasn't the reason. Okay, what I want to look at is how will we use our time. Okay, how are we going to use our time? Many of us have bemoaned the lack of time. It's one of my most popular courses that I run. Is something I call time optimization, because many of us feel like we don't have enough time, and here we are with the gift of another 3 weeks stretching ahead of us. Okay, so one of the key things that you can do, and probably one of the single most productive things that you can do, is tidy up. I went and had a look at various messy offices. This one took my pick as the winning one, more because I can probably relate to it. Sort of I tend to operate much like this. I'll open something up and put a little bit here, and then I'll put a little bit there, and I'll put a little bit there. And as you can see, there's this tiny little desk, and sort of work's just sort of spread and grown around it. I often joke and say that I don't like having paper on my desk because I turn around and it breeds and multiplies, and I turn back and there's a mountain of paper. Okay, so what could you do in this space? Now, if you work from home and you have a home office like what we do, you could actually look at tidying up your physical space. If you are fortunate enough to be one of those people who are able to be in their factory, it is now the time to be looking at your work layout, to really be thinking through how could we tidy this place up? How could we lay it out so it could be more effective with so that we could come back and operate more efficiently, more effectively. Lean manufacturing talks about removing waste. Many of you would have played a game with Lego with me, where people go from assembling a Lego block, and they can normally do about 5 to 10, and we get people going up to 50 in the same amount of time just by removing waste. And so if you're remote, if you are stuck at home and you're not able to do it, what could you do with your online system? I talked yesterday around your filing systems. How much time do you spend looking for stuff? And saying that for me was one of my biggest frustrations. And certainly over this next 3 weeks, an area that I've committed to getting tidied up. So could you tidy up your online systems, your filing systems? It was quite fun actually looking for messy offices. I sort of had a run-up of different ones I was going to use. I love this one here because the ironing board in the background, I was like, yeah, that's very much like the home office thing. It's sort of, there's no clear parameters quite often. And then I love this one here because, the paperwork just spilling over onto the boxes under the desk. And this was almost my next one, where just there's paperwork everywhere. Okay, I'm really hoping nobody's quite like that. Otherwise, you're probably going to need a smidgen longer than 3 weeks, but as that might be. What I do want to do, though, is this is an area I'm actually quite passionate about. They've done multiple experiments around productivity when it comes to tidiness. And you can see the little desks on the side over there. This is one of the experiments that they did where they got people to go work in an office, and one office was left orderly, and then the other office was less messy, and they did it multiple times and measured people's productivity levels. Now, you can go and read results like that. There's a proliferation of them online. I found this one here when I was looking for a nice brief summary of the difference between tidy and messy. And when you look at this here, it says a messy office. And obviously, at the moment, the hot topic's all bacteria and all the rest of it. But the things that really resonated, the reason I chose this infographic is that little figure over there. The average person wastes 4.3 hours per week searching for paper. Now, a quick show of hands, so you can put up your hands on the screen. How many of you can relate to knowing you waste a lot of time looking for stuff, be it paper, be it whatever it might be? How many of you, I've got a couple of hands going, yep, okay, we're getting a nice flurry of hands, yep. So once again, very much relating to what we've got there. So we've got well over half of the participants with their hands up, yep, okay. So you know that. What could we do to be more organized? Okay. Another thing I found really interesting is in terms of team culture, 57% of people admit that they judge their co-workers by how they keep their workspaces. I thought it was quite a blunt observation that, but it does really impact. Those of you who have done some culture work with know how important it is to have a culture where people can be productive. Now, the reason I actually chose this infographic was because of the stats around when you're organized. What difference does it make? So people at a clean desk are able to work for 7.5 minutes longer without losing focus. Now, that might not sound like much to you. I mean, 7.5 minutes. However, those of you who have ever been in your flow, when you're in your flow, when you're in the zone, 7.5 minutes of being in the zone when you're just pumping work out and you're totally in space is a huge amount of time, particularly if those 7.5 minutes are in your time blocks that you've put in place. Okay, so organized people focus on what they're doing for longer. And there's going to be a better health. Now, I want to just add on to this. They obviously focus on the cold and flu viruses linger for longer, so you actually be healthier with a clean desk. But I want to relate that back to the figure around culture. Okay, you actually will have a healthier culture if the place is neat and tidy. There's an expectation. You set a standard by having that tidiness around you. And then one of the key things over here, a clean workspace increases persistence by 84%. That is quite a phenomenal figure if you just stop to think about it. 84% increase in persistence. So once again, is that an area you can work on? So our number 6 out of our 15, tidy up. Your next one, in the same vein, clean up your CRM. I was looking for a picture around a CRM with all the red dots of all the stuff that hadn't been done. And this picture came up and I thought, oh yeah, that just looks perfect. So quick show of hands again. How many of you would have to admit that your CRM probably is a little bit guilty of being messy like that? I'd be even quicker flurry of participants going, that's us. Okay, so a CRM, for those of you who might not know, is a customer relationship management program, okay? And now is actually the perfect time. So many businesses, when I'm working with them and they bring up their CRM and there's all these little red dots and I'm going, guys, your data integrity is vital to your business success. Data integrity is vital to business success. So therefore, if you're going to have a system, remember the system needs to work for you. So if you're going to have a reminder, I've often sat with people and their pop-ups go over and go, beep, 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 beep. The little Microsoft reminders, and they go snooze, 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 snooze. All right. We want to make sure our systems are working for us. And one of the most important systems in a business is your CRM. So are all of your deals still alive and relevant? Are all your contacts in there appropriate? Is there any missing information you can fill in? Now, for a number of my clients have been calling people, particularly people in the building sector. I've had a number of them saying that they've been calling clients and been amazed at how many builders and people who are normally on the tools are actually lying on the couch and quite happy to talk. So, could you be filling in missing information? Could you be checking in with people? If you're not able to call your clients for whatever reason, maybe they're in the health sector and they're doubly busy, could you check out details on the website? Could you be looking at online directories? Whatever it is, could you use this time to update your CRM? Those of you who've got people at home, give them the letters A to F, and just break your CRM down and get people to update it. Just picking up on one of the points I made yesterday around having training videos, please do have clear guidelines and rules around this. Okay, if we're getting people to alter information on our CRM, we need to make sure that there's a consistency so that everybody's doing it the same. Remember, the data drives the business, so we've got to make sure that the data has integrity. And once again, as I mentioned yesterday, with the little web links to the different places you could go to make video clips, please do have a look at doing that. So that was number 7, tidy up your CRM. Number 8, do marketing material. Okay, and one of the things to please realize, we are going to come out of this time. People are going to start spending money again. In fact, for some industries, people are going to have cabin fever, and when they come out of it, there's going to be a flurry of spending. I was speaking with one of my clients yesterday, and that's what they're gearing up for. They're gearing up for the flurry of spending because it's going to happen. whether you're in an industry where there's going to be a flurry or whether there's going to be a slow trickle before it picks up again, are you going to be the person people see? When people search for where can I spend money in this area, are you going to pop up? Is your word out there? Will you grab people's attention? In marketing, we talk about the AIDA principle, where we've got to grab people's attention, create interest, and from that interest, we want to create a desire that leads to them taking action. So look at your marketing material. Is it still current and relevant? Is it cohesive across all of the different mediums that you've got, from your prints to your online, to your apps, to whatever it might be? Once again, as I did yesterday, if you go and Google, do a little Google search, so I did one yesterday, I found that this was really good, 33 of the best types of marketing collateral from File Stage. Once again, we will be sharing the slides, so that will be available for you. Guys, now is the time to go and do that grind work that often you just are too busy to be doing. And marketing is the perfect place because it gives you that hope that we were talking about on our very first webinar. It gives you the hope that we are coming out of this and you're preparing and getting your mind ready for better times. So psychologically, it's really good for you as a person and for the individual. So number 8, get your marketing material ready. Number 9 is one of my absolute favorite ones, and do R&D. Businesses that are perpetually reinventing themselves, looking at their marketplaces, looking to create and recreate themselves in their industry are the ones that stay in front. So is now the time to actually start to brainstorm as a team, to go away and start to go and research online. And got a number of clients who are doing this at the moment. They've gone and sent the team out and said, go and look for products that are similar to what we want to create, and let's go and find the gap. Let's go and find inspiration. And so they've actually got team members. Once again, it's great for culture. It's great for people at home because they're researching what they could be doing. They're researching where, that future hope that I was talking about. Please, and I'd like to actually dedicate a whole session to R&D because it's something I'm really passionate about. So I'm just going to touch on it now. But this is the perfect time to be doing R&D. People are on forums. You'll have access to the minds of really smart people that you would not have had access to before. So use the time now and do the R&D. Okay. With what we're going through now, the market will change. Please be ready. And ideally, lead the change in the market. I know they're oft used, but it's because they're so good. They're the Ubers of the world and the Airbnbs. They led the change in the market. Are you looking at your marketplace? How's it changing? How could you change it? So number 9, do some R&D. And number 10, we've got a whole session on this. It'll be the first thing we do next week is around keeping your team connected and updated. We'll do it over 3 sessions. And please be aware that the novelty of working from home is going to begin to wear off. Okay. Now, I know some of you are having daily meetings. Really, really encourage that very strongly. Keep connected. Keep positive. Keep upbeat. If you're the leader of an organization or the leader of the team, please remember Colin Powell. He was the one who said that as a leader, you're the one who has to be positive. You have to be upbeat. If you're scared, worried, lonely, whatever the case may be, you can't show that to your team. Okay, you need to surround yourself with a group of peers where you can offload that. Now, please, in line with it, I just want to link back to what I said on our second webinar. You do need to be authentic. If you are scared, it is okay to say, these are worrying times. But remember that where you focus as a leader, your team will focus as well. So admit you might be a little bit worried and concerned, but focus your time with your team on the positive going forward. Focus your time with the team on what we can proactively do. Really, really important. Keep focused forward. Keep positive. Please, as a leader of a team, make sure that you connect one-on-one with people. Pick up the phone and call people, okay? Make sure that you're actually connecting with them. Very, very important. Like I said, the novelty is beginning to wear off for a lot of people, and cabin fever, particularly with the extroverts in your team, cabin fever will definitely be beginning to sink in. So make sure you connect. I don't think we're going to come out of this time with people going, oh, my boss called me too much to check in on how I was doing. I think we're going to care far more of the, oh, I don't even know if they care. Don't be that person. Be the person who does let people know that you care, that you're still thinking of them, that you still value them as team members. And a little tip that came from, Kerry and I did a webinar with Patrick Lencioni, or Lencioni, I think he pronounces it. And he said that having check-ins is really good, but he recommended also having check-outs. So at the end of the day, just checking out with people, going, hey, cheers, bye, hope the day was good. Thanks for what you've done today. Guys, so once again, that's the number 10 of our 15. Please keep connected and updated. Now, we do have a little bit of time for questions and answers if anybody has got any. So please feel free to just drop in a question or an answer. And more than happy to answer those. If you've got any comments at all. As I said, please do feel free to share this around with people who want to jump on. I do trust that they're being useful and valuable to you, and that they're giving you something to look forward to during the day, something to focus on, a nice break in your day, just to go, yep, there is a future, and it's filled with hope, and it's going to be positive and incredible. And remember, you get to choose where you focus, and where your focus goes, there your energy will go too. So go out there and put your energy in a place that's going to make a difference. As always, please feel free to give any thoughts or questions across to us. And that's my email address there. You can always jump onto our website as well. And we've got a lot of resources on there. Look forward to catching up with you tomorrow, where we'll cover off the last 5 of our 15 before the weekend. Have a great time, everybody. And once again, thanks ever so much.